You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a Weird Movies podcast, joined today by the ever-loving Giles Edwards.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're well.
That was very lovely. So, today we have a large number of new releases and news to get through this week. So, why don't we get right to it? Because there is so darn much of it.
All right.
A lot going on this week. So let me bring up our visual representation of the list of topics we have. Can you see them, Giles?
I can.
There are 11 items, which is like a record, I think. It's close to a record.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get through them all quite quickly to fit this within 40 minutes. But we're starting off with some very interesting news. Why don't you quickly describe this lovely poster?
Sure, we've got a 60s style action thriller setup on display here in a hand-drawn style, sort of thriller comic book thing. There's a fella in a suit and tie, falling from parachute, holding I'm going to guess, a high ball of bourbon in one hand and a lunch pail with a bunch of dynamite in the other. And in the background, we can see a tall woman in a pink sort of stewardess outfit, holding a cigarette and cigarette holder in one hand and a bag of money in the other. There is fella in a muscle shirt version of a tuxedo top with bulging muscles and a Indian headdress. There's a fella in a sort of butcher style hat with bow tie, blue shirt, suspenders, holding a bomb. There's I don't know, a guy in a sort of tight t-shirt style captain's uniform holding a shotgun. There's I don't know if that's a crocodile or an alligator in a sort of armor suit thing with an iron cross, and it looks like a Nazi armband. There's just all kinds of great explosions. There's a castle. There's some skulls. It's all very silly and exciting.
And there's a name of it.
There is. It's called Oriental Snatch, and for whatever reason, it shows an American and a Brazilian flag.
Yeah, there seems to be well, and the bottom corner there's a UK flag.
Oh, no, yeah. I think is that a Australian, the one with the little stars on? Yeah, there is a Japanese flag.
Yeah. And
Global.
it also gives us some more information from the co-creator of Hundreds of Beavers, and a subtitle, "The True Story of D.B. Cooper." So this is a new project that is in the funding stage. It is from half of the team behind Hundreds of Beavers, the man with more names than he needs, Ryland Brickson Cole Tews.
So 2/3 of the names associated with Hundreds of Beavers.
Right, 2/3 of the names behind. That's how they should have marketed it. You got him. He should have thought of that. Don't know where Mike Cheslick is for this one. Hope that doesn't mean they've split up. But Cheslick may have his own project that he's working on, and for some reason wasn't interested in this one. I don't know. Who knows? He's the Ryland Brickson was now he, I think, directed or co-directed Lake Michigan Monster. He starred in both Lake Michigan Monster and Hundreds of Beavers, and I believe that he co-wrote both of the previous projects. So he and Cheslick, however, were a team previously. Now he has a new director, a guy named Chris Tex, who I am not familiar with, but if you watch their promotional video, they will go through his credits. And one more thing, this is on something called WeFunder, which is not quite like the usual, go or indie funding sites, a Kickstarter or whatever. This is just a very new. It's just newly allowed. You didn't used to be able to solicit investors publicly for your films. You had to do it privately. Now apparently it's legal, so you can actually get a share of the profits. You can contribute to this as an investor and not just get a T-shirt or a copy of the DVD when it comes out. You can actually get some profits back if it shows a profit.
Yeah, after expenses are paid, investors will be paid back 130% of their investment and then will receive a 50% pro rata share of net profits. So very exciting times.
Yes. And the reason why this was never legally allowed before is because investors almost never get paid for it. Because most films don't turn end up.
Well, we all saw that documentary, The Producers from the 60s. So, yeah.
Right. More about this. It looks pretty wild. Set in one of my favorite time periods of the swinging 60s. I love anything set in the swinging 60s. And very politically incorrect title. And there's some things on the poster that I are a little bit politically incorrect.
Yeah, although considering the source and a closer look at this poster, I'm going to guess this is a very much in good fun kind of thing.
Yes.
So.
They have never been, the Hundreds of Beavers team has never been offensive in their humor.
Childish, but never offensive.
Very much, yes. So, Oriental Snatch coming out God knows when, but that's something to be excited for and to keep an eye on. Specifically, the crocodile suit of armor with a Nazi armband will be something we'll be watching. But let's move on to some more news about upcoming movies. Less exciting to us, probably much more profitable, though. What do you see, guys?
This looks like a promotional headshot of a young woman with shoulder-length blonde hair. I'll describe her as generically pretty. She's got does have a nice blazer thing going on and a dusty gray, and she's standing in front of some sort of sign, which probably indicates where she is, but we can't quite see it.
Yes, and this is the star that has been tapped to be in this upcoming announced movie. Do you know what it is, Giles?
I believe this has to do with an Alice in Wonderland inspired musical.
That is
at
correct.
Universal.
So you would then recognize the actress portrayed here for our viewers.
One would hope, but I'm kind of out of the loop in that I mostly watch zero budget indie stuff these days.
All right, her name is Sabrina Carpenter, and she is not an actress. She is a pop singer. And this whole plan to make a Alice in Wonderland musical seems to me clearly, it's from Universal Pictures, and it seems to me clearly inspired by the success of the Wizard of Oz musical, Wicked. They're going to try to do that again. Wicked, of course, co-stars Ariana Grande, another pop singer not previously known for her acting, who actually did quite a good job in Wicked, which is not something I really like, but I will say Grande is very good in this. Sabrina Carpenter remains to be seen. I have very low hopes for this. Very low.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there were a latter day, or maybe, shall we say, maybe a younger Danny Elfman kind of person would, again, be an obvious choice, or even Sparks. But I wish Ms. Carpenter the best of luck, because why not? I want good things more than bad things, and if she brings good things, fantastic.
She's not writing the music, at least, so she's singing it. Yes, but the last time Hollywood got their hands on Alice in Wonderland, it was really an insult to Lewis Carroll and to everyone who loves that wonderful absurdist fiction. So,
Hmm.
um, like I say, I have very low hopes for it. But let's move on to something I'm more hopeful about. This is a new movie coming out in very limited release this week, and then hopefully expanding after that. What do you see there, Giles, for
I
this?
see an animation style promotional image here with a swirl of polychromatic fabric, I guess, very rainbow-esque. And in the center, emerging from this fabric, is a boy, sort of plain-faced but wide-eyed, and over his shoulders is a young girl, black hair, holding on to him as if being carried around. And emerging from this boy's forehead are about five beams of white, sort of a white light, just sort of whoosh, popping out of it.
Yeah, very rainbow colored, and it is the it's from the upcoming movie. It says official teaser on it, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
Neon, and its name is Arco. And this is a movie. I'm going to say uh, that if you go to our site and suggest movies to us, you can get them covered because I probably would have skipped over this one, except a reader specifically uh, drew our attention to this. So there is interest in it. I'm trying to find the comment where the. Do you remember that, Giles?
I can't say that I
Okay, a
do.
reader did suggest this to us, and I cannot find the comment. I didn't bring it up. Oh, here it is. It's from Anonymous, uh, who posts a lot on our site. Anonymous said, I think there's one you'll want to watch when it comes to theaters, Arco, an animated film about a boy in time-traveling rainbow suit, which indeed is what this looks like.
Yeah.
So,
And both of
Anonymous,
those times being far future, judging from the trailer, the girl over the shoulder seems to be, quote, from the past, where the year is 2075. So who knows where Arco, well, I imagine. Well, anyway, yeah, that did look interesting. And it looks like a directorial debut from a French fella with a very welcoming name.
yes, it's, do you have his name? I don't have it in front of me.
Hugo Bienvenu.
Okay. Um, yes, and the French are doing these. There have been a lot of French anime style animation crossovers recently. As a matter of fact, I saw something last night that will not quite worth covering on the site, but had its very surreal moments, and it was a French movie set in Japan, French animated movie set in Japan called Little Amelie, or The Character of Water. And it's
Hmm.
a very interesting, very good animated movie told from the perspective of a 2.5-year-old girl. So she has that imagination where she sees things and they are not quite the same as adults would see them.
Right.
But it's got
Okay.
some very, very nice scenes in there and some interesting childish solipsism in it.
Yeah, I got
So,
some good voices lined up for Arco too, with Will Ferrell, America Ferrara, Natalie Portman, Mark Ruffalo, Andy Samberg, and Flea, because why not?
yeah. Okay. That's Arco. It will not be in theaters near me next week, so I might be getting to it the week after, which I think would be the week of Thanksgiving. Yes, I think that would be the week of Thanksgiving. I'm hoping it comes near me and I can get out to see it then. Arco. But let's move on to something that is also in theaters, although it's not quite new. Giles, you want to describe this?
This is a still from a Japanese animation, a nice bucolic forest thing in the background there with roots, bracken, growths of green, etc. On the left-hand side, we see a boy, I'm going to guess between the ages of 8 and 10, in a sort of uniform style outfit of a drab gray with a somewhat top shaggy haircut, but with buzz cut sideburns. And he seems to be rather surprised at the presence of the character dominating the frame, and in the foreground, a large heron,
And that's,
which
yeah,
I only am successfully able to identify because I know the title for this particular film.
that's a blue and green bird. Very large,
Hmm.
wingspan probably much taller than the boy.
Yeah, yeah, I could see it close to a dozen feet or more with a
Yeah,
dozen.
so this the still tells you what it is. It's The Boy and the Heron. Miyazaki's last movie is in re-release from G Kids as part of their uh, branded Miyazaki Fest, where they or Ghibli Fest they call it, where they re-release various movies from mostly Miyazaki, but other Ghibli films also get re-released. And that happens a couple times a year at least, maybe 3 to 4 times a year they'll do that. Um, I gave The Boy and the Heron, which was released in 2023, Apocrypha candidate status. Described it as a Japanese boy who's lost his mother during World War II meets a mysterious heron who guides him into a fantastic netherworld where the living and dead coexist in a bizarre ecosystem. And said it's got that otherworldly Miyazaki character design and enigmatic surprises galore. My high hopes were met in an early scene where the heron conjures a choir of fish and a cloak of frogs. So there you go.
Nice.
It's good, good Miyazaki, good for anybody who likes Miyazaki to check out. Giles, you haven't seen as much Miyazaki as you should, I think. But
Now I know this to be true.
which have you seen?
That's a good question. I have seen, let's see, I've seen Spirited Away, right? Yeah, I even wrote about that.
Hmm.
And I have seen Porco Rosso.
Okay.
Um, but those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head.
I
So
believe
yes, woefully underversed.
I believe Miyazaki is one of the few directors who I've seen his entire feature film output. There
It
may be,
seems right.
oh no, there's one I've missed, Valley of Nausicaa. So, oh well. Anyway, I'll get
Well,
around.
it's waiting for you to enjoy.
All right. But moving on to more animated movies, new movies that Giles has seen this time.
Hmm.
Now, new on VOD. We're in our VOD segment of the podcast. Describe this still, if you would, for people.
Yeah, we got this is computer graphics here with soft pastel tones, very broccoli looking trees. There's a fence line with a small, very pink garage dominating the right-hand side. Clouds that blend seamlessly into a blue sky. And seated upon a small children's slide is a boy fellow, oh, I can't remember. Some are early, very early teens at the oldest, looking a bit introspective and CGI from that kind of mid to late 90s period there. So a very familiar array of shapes and colors for someone my age.
That's from what's called Blender animation, which
Yeah.
I guess the program used to make this style of animation. And the movie, oh, there is a quote, Giles, there.
They're calling it, quote, absurd and hilarious.
Yeah,
So,
sure it is. It's absurd and hilarious in spots.
yeah.
It's called, you don't remember, Boys Go to Jupiter.
That's it. Yeah, I knew they went somewhere.
Boys Go to Jupiter, yes. And from Julian Glander, who we interviewed about
Yes, right.
Boys Go to Jupiter.
And I remember he wants to start a hammer factory, so I haven't, I still can recall some things.
All right. What do you remember? You don't remember the name? Do you remember the story of Boy?
Oh yeah, it's about this kid who's got a food delivery gig thing. He's got a little electro scooter, what's it, and he's trying to get the sort of magical sum of $5,000, which he's convinced will allow him to break free from the tedious existence in nameless, or at least a certainly unclear Florida suburb. And simultaneously, there's a sort of conspiracy thing about a juice factory, perhaps run by, gosh, is it intergalactic dolphin of some sort? And there's a space visitor who's one of whose kids appears near this boy, and he sort of ends up being kind of a father to it as it develops. So yeah, a lot of neat, weird, yeah, and absurd, and often funny things going on. A number of musical numbers, and so yeah, I certainly recall the experience very warmly, if not the title.
So now you get the chance to see Boys Go to Jupiter, available on VOD at all your usual VOD spots. Um, but let's move on to something else that's also on VOD this week, if my calculations are correct. Describe this promotional image.
All right, this is done as if it's on a warped bit of wallpapering that has a leafy motif, lots of bends, curves from moisture and debris. Upper right-hand corner, two older women with platinum blondes peering suspiciously at the title. And on the left, of course, we can't fail to recognize a famous guy who hasn't aged in 40 years, and his torso is also an entrance hallway to the establishment that the titular character ends up checking into and being unable to check out of.
Right. The fellow being Crispin Glover. The movie being called, it's the title is right up there. So
Yeah, right there, Mr. K.
Mr. K, a reference to Kafka, of course. Did you comment on the two women in the upper?
Yeah, they're the first thing that, well, I mean, obviously, there's the very obvious part on the left, but they are hanging out there on the right, edging into the visuals there. So,
That seems like a typically surrealist outing from someone named first-time director Tallulah H. Schwab. First time I've heard of her, at least. This was reviewed by our own Enar Clark, who managed to see it in theaters. And Enar described it as a magician planning to spend one night in a hotel finds it impossible to leave. Enar was not crazy about it, to be honest. You, Giles, said, well, this will automatically be an Apocrypha candidate. Enar did not so nominate it.
well, Enar would know better than me, having actually seen it, considering it's now available on VOD, and it's, shall we say, a good movie length for someone like myself. Odds are I'll check it out sooner rather than later, and may provide insights in the comments.
Right. I'm going to check it out as well and give my own thoughts on it. It did not, I think, in terms of weirdness, it certainly qualifies for our field. It did not get very good reviews overall, however, and I think that's what Enar was complaining about, was it just wasn't very good, despite having Crispin Glover and being truly weird. But opinions may differ, and we shall see. But we are low on time, so let's move on to this one, which is rather quick to get through. Giles, describe this poster, if you
All
would.
right, we got some pinky, inky, swirling backdrop here, which is over I don't know, an apartment block or something. In the foreground, we have loving couple of handsome, swayny, mustachioed guy, grinning toothfully, embracing and embraced by a slightly shorter woman with pinkish scarlet hair and a look of contentment. However, she is partially disintegrating into the background, which I suspect is pertinent to the goings-on of this particular movie.
Right, and the movie is
Daniela Forever.
Oh, yes, it is Daniela Forever. One neither of us has seen, I'm fairly sure, and know only a little bit about. It is the plot, as I gather, is a depressed man recreates his lost lover through lucid dreaming. So, sort of a kind of reverse version of shoot, what's that movie? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless.
Uh,
So yeah, it's possibly weird. Don't know. It's from the director of Time Crimes, Nacho Villagando.
Vigilando.
Villagando. Um, which was a very good movie, and he's made some other science fiction based movies. Again, kind of mediocre reviews on this one. Um, this is now out on Blu-ray. It has been out on VOD for a while. We now have it out on both DVD for the really cheap people and Blu-ray. Um, and let me see. Is there any kind? It doesn't seem. It seems fairly bare bones. There are no um, special features announced on in the promotional material. Like I say, I think I will be checking that out very quickly and report back on that for y'all. But let us go on to the next Blu-ray or probably a 4K UHD release. What do you see there, Giles?
Oh, what do I see? Well, I see what gives me the vibe of a sort of stage presentation of something. There's a scrim backdrop with some gnarled trees and some ominous, ill-lit green. And in the foreground, there's one of those great bare bones brass poster bed things with single mattress. There's a guy. He's wearing sunglasses and something blue draped over his shoulder. It looks like probably his blazer is resting over his shoulders there, and he's looking ambiguous because he's got some very dark shades on. He is holding to his chest, and she is clinging onto his shoulders there. A young woman who's kneeling on the bed that's in front of this guy. We can see she's got some pink high-heeled shoes. She's got a somewhat lacy pink bra and pink panties. So, something adult looks like it's about to happen.
Yeah, it's from it's a definitely a 366 After Dark entry. It is Cafe Flesh, which we just discussed. I don't remember if you were on when I discussed this one, Giles, or if I.
I know I've talked about it with you
Okay.
before. So.
This was released on Blu-ray way back in July of this year, and now this is the 4K
Yeah.
UHD version. It is from, I believe it's from Mondo Macabro. It is from Mondo Macabro.
Okay, excellent choice.
Have you seen this by chance, Giles?
I haven't, but 1980 oddball sci-fi thing. I really think I should plan to.
So this is, I'll just give you the plot as listed in the product description. After the nuclear apocalypse, 99% of the surviving populace will be rendered sex negative as physical intimacy makes them violently ill. To meet their urges, the fortunate few sex positives are forced to perform at a carnal cabaret known as Cafe Flesh, where no fetish is too bizarre or outrageous for the conscripted caste to deliver. It's from Stephen Sayedian, working under his moniker of Rinse Dream, and stars Michelle Bauer, who does some light hardcore here, but then went on to be a softcore scream queen. So this movie is low-budget sci-fi, fairly surreal cult movie that kind of straddles the border between softcore porn and hardcore porn. And later, Stephen I think it's Sayedian, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, would produce a couple of full-on hardcore porn movies that were also very surreal, and then go back to produce the softcore one that he's probably most known for now, Dr. Caligari,
Ah,
which is on our list. But yes, there is a little bit of hardcore stuff in here. I believe they said that the hardcore version runs something like 97 minutes and the softcore version runs something like 95 minutes. So
okay.
that tells you how much is in it, right? Unless they included some other stuff to pad the running length for the softcore version.
Right.
I'm not sure about. I believe this is unusual, but I believe this is one of those cases where Amazon actually will sell you the hardcore porn version of something. Normally they will beg off doing that, but in a few cases where it's something of artistic value,
Well, yeah, it's art house science fiction, Greg, not porn.
they won't look too closely at the content in those cases. So you can buy this from Amazon or anybody else you want to. It's cafe flesh. You know it. You love it. You gotta watch it.
Can't live without it.
Can't live without it. And in our remaining about 7 minutes, we have two collections to go through, and then one that's also sort of a collection, and that's a double feature. But let's look at this first one, Giles. What do you see in this promotional?
All right, this is advertising in a sort of tome style with ominous crimson binding and the name of the production company on the spine. And on the front, I see two sets of 5 hatch marks with 4 vertical and 1 diagonal line through. So I'm going to guess there's 10 of something in this display thing. Despite looking at the discs, I do see 10. So there are 10 discs in this item from a production company sold as 10 different things. So spot on.
All right, and the production company is
Shudder.
Shudder, and Shudder's hit or miss with weird movies. Of course, they're horror label, but there are, let's see, 3 movies in this collection that we've reviewed, and 1 movie that is on our apocryphally weird list in this collection.
Very heavily so.
So the 10 films in order of release are Terrified, The Mortuary Collection, The Dark and the Wicked, Host, Mad God, VHS 94, Caveat, Skinamarink, Late Night with the Devil, and In a Violent Nature. So obviously Mad God is the one that we really treasure here. And I do think it's the best movie of this bunch. Late Night with the Devil is also good, but a bit more conventional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly anything's more Mad God. So Mad God, just a passion project from Phil Tippett, 90 minutes of totally insane Hieronymus Bosch-like trip into hell, stop motion animated.
Dialogue free.
Anything else?
Alex Cox in a cameo.
Yeah. Anything else to add there, Giles?
Oh no, it certainly looks like they have collected good horror from their back catalog. I don't know too much horror myself, but I certainly recognize all the titles, which is saying something. And I have heard good things about In a Violent Nature, not in a weird way, but in a creepy, horror kind of way. So this will be good for, I guess, maybe that friend of yours who loves horror but isn't a subscriber to Shudder.
Yeah, and I'm guessing a lot of people who buy this disc are not going to watch Mad God and Skinamarink, or they're not going to watch them for long. It's the kind of movies they're probably going to put in 5 to 10 minutes and then take out, especially Skinamarink, which is really.
I've heard I've heard 2 opinions of Skinamarink, and they are about diametrically opposed. So yeah,
it's an acquired taste. Let's put it that way. Let's move on to another collection coming out. Giles, describe this promotional story.
All right, this is a big box of stuff with different color schemes going on for, I guess, the 9 features that are included in this. I'll give you the starting hint, all from the same director. Each film has been given a fairly different color motif, with a nice purple for one, and some green and purple, some aqua blue, some sky blue, yellow, or yeah, so all very stylized and neat looking, which makes sense for the filmmaker in question. And advertised on the front, I suspect, are this director's 3 most famous movies. One has a fella in his 30s, maybe early 40s, with a little tight cap on and facial hair and a black long coat and bag, and he is walking next to a girl who's got a kind of bob cut and is holding a house plant. And then we also see in another image a alien-looking person in mid-song with large hair or thick tendril things coming from her head and like flying hover cop cars. And the third film advertised, I believe, is the front, has a kind of spiral motif and a very tall, very spy thriller noir, blonde-haired, catsuit-themed woman looking down at a generic, comparatively dumpy-looking guy in a trench coat. So,
All right. And since we're running very low on
very
time,
low.
I'm going to just race through these titles. This is the Luc Besson Collection. Luc Besson, a director who we've reviewed a lot, but never has quite broken through to the truly weird level. But the movies here are Le Dernier Combat, Subway, The Big Blue, La Femme Nikita, Atlantis, Leon the Professional, The Fifth Element, The Messenger, Story of Joan of Arc, and Angel-A. Leon the Professional and La Femme Nikita, very popular movies, very good movies, not weird, however. The others are tend to just kind of, flirt with weirdness a little. But
Although I'd suspect a biopic about Gary Oldman's character in The Professional leading up to that movie could be very weird indeed.
all right, but let's do this still in the last under 2 minutes we have. So just really quick, describe that.
We got a glamorous black woman in a sequin dress thing, a couple gold chains, looking vacantly off to one side. It looks like her right breast may have emerged from her shirt somehow. We can't quite see. And closer to the foreground is a very 80s haired, blonder woman with raspberry pink lipstick and matching, I don't know, chemise dress shirt thing with one shoulder not there. I'm guessing that's part of the garment. So all screams very 80s and probably going to flirt with an adult rating.
And it does. This is called Eva Man and the Return of Eva Man. Eva Man, a legendary yet little seen film, and a premiere of the sequel, The Return of Eva Man, from, I believe this is also Mondo Macabro, but we're running out of time. It is about the beautiful Eva is unusual in a number of ways, not the least of them being that she was born with both male and female attributes. She asked her uncle, Professor Pissinger, to operate on her and remove the male parts. However, the professor is so taken with the idea of a hermaphrodite that he refuses to perform the operation, believing that the future of humanity would be best served by increasing the number of intersex individuals. And it gets weirder from there, from what I can tell. But I can only recommend that on Reputation. Out of time. Bye-bye.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.